Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl JoJo, and I'm here with a video that is long overdue, probably about 2 months overdue. I was supposed to do this video, I want to say back at the end of November or early December. I can't remember which, but I had posted about it on my community feed, and I started the video. I had like 20 or 30 minutes in the video, and I don't know if it was the holidays or just life. I really don't know. I was going to scrap the whole thing, but I decided to just start fresh with my commentary and post it because I said I was going to post it. Like, that's one of the things that I really want to do better with. If you say you're going to do something, then you need to do it, even though it's late. So that is what I'm doing. The name of the show on WeTV is Keke Wyatt's World, and I wanted to talk about it. I did finished binge watching it not too long ago. I actually rewatched it so that I would be able to give the commentary. And if you haven't watched it yet, it is available on Amazon Prime. I think you have to get an all black subscription, but you can get a trial and watch the show. Or you can watch it on WeTV. They do still have the episodes up. The first thing I want to say, I thought the show was interesting. It held my interest. I think it was only about 5 episodes. It wasn't a long season. I enjoyed watching Keke Wyatt with her children. You can tell that she has a unique relationship, an individual relationship with all of those children. Like, I don't feel like it's like one of those situations where there's a lot of kids and somebody's getting lost in the sauce. That's not really the feeling that I got just from watching the show. So that was one of the things that I really, really liked about it. I also like her partner, Zachariah. Now, I don't know what Zachariah does for a living. I did kind of do my Googles and did some Googling around. I'm not really exactly sure what he does. But I do know that he is supportive of her. He's supportive of the children. They have commented how much they like him and how much they appreciate the support he gives. And Keke is a lot to deal with. So having somebody from her past, because they started as friends a long time ago, and linked back up in the future, who knows who Keke is already and is ready to accept the challenge of a Keke Wyatt, is a man that you want to keep around. There was one episode in particular where he told her to shut up, and some people had a problem with that, but I did not. I really didn't. Most of the time I don't like stuff like that, but I really didn't have an issue because I could tell that Keke and Zachariah got their ways. And that is what he sometimes got to tell Keke, because she be on one. So when you start the show out, if you know who Keke Wyatt is, then you know it's a bunch of singing in the confessionals randomly. It's a bunch of faces being made. It's a bunch of tears. It's a bunch going on, yelling. It's a whole lot going on with Keke Wyatt. But overall, I enjoyed the show mainly for the 3 reasons I listed above. Just the relationship she has with her children, the relationship she has with Zachariah, and of course, she is a phenomenal singer. I will never take that away from Keke. She has been one of my favorite sopranos for years. She definitely almost lost me due to something that happened on social media a couple years back with her. I felt like she went the Karen route and got to crying when she knew she was wrong. But I'm trying to let it go. I'm trying to let that go. And we just going to talk about the show. So let's talk about it. So originally I was going to do this video as like a rant because there were a lot of moments in the show that were really ticking me off. But I think I'm going to do it as more of just a regular review because the show honestly wasn't that bad. So, all right. Episode 1. All right. This is where we start to get into the meat of the storyline. So Keke has a child who was born with trisomy 13. Keziah is the child's name. Trisomy 13, that is a genetic disorder. From my understanding and from my research, it is where you have an additional copy of the chromosome 13. Of course, one that you're not supposed to have. It is very difficult growth-wise, and you do have a very short life expectancy. The child has been having several seizures. They've been having problems feeding the baby. So the baby has been in the hospital for a couple of months. They weren't able to take the baby straight home. The baby is about to come home, and it is at this time that Keke sits all of the children down to let them know that she's going to need their help. Now, I I don't really have a problem with her letting the children know these things. Um, However, I want to speak about this from two sides because I want to tread lightly. I don't think there's anything wrong with children helping in the home. I do think there is a problem with making the children mini parents. If the children did not have these children, then they should not be expected to take on the responsibility that a parent would. I call that is I not I call it, but experts call that the parentification of children. And I was a child that was parentified. It didn't have a word when I was going through it, but I know it very well. It plays a part into why I decided not to have my own children. And I don't think when parents do it, I really do not think they're doing it in a selfish manner at the moment, okay, at the time that is happening. I think it takes stepping back and listening to your children and also just kind of seeing the layout of your life once the children grow up. I think that's when you realize, you know what, I probably shouldn't have done that. So just to share a little bit of my own story, my mom got divorced when I was about 13. And it was a very tumultuous relationship. Like, I had no idea what was going on behind the scenes. She told me later when I got older, there were other children being created. There was cheating going on. There was money issues going on, gambling problems. There was a lot going on behind the scenes. My mother eventually left. And once she left, she was not getting the support that she needed from the other parent, which left me, who was a little bit older, to help my two siblings. I'm 12 years older than my sister, and I'm 8 years older than my brother. So you can imagine there's a large age gap. I could do a lot more than they could. I ended up cooking some meals, preparing meals for them, whether it was breakfast or whether it was dinner. My mom could have been on her way home, or maybe she was running late, stuff like that. I would go ahead and get stuff started. I was definitely giving the baths. I was wiping the butts, because y'all know kids can't wipe their butt good for a while. Even once you show them the way, like, you got to really watch behind them. I was cleaning the whole house, top to bottom, including my siblings' rooms. Sometimes they were sleeping with me, my sister specifically. I did a lot of babysitting almost every weekend or every Friday night or whatever, what have you. It was a lot. And it was things that I look back on, and I was worried about my mother's money. I was worried about not doing cheerleading again because she couldn't afford it. I was worried about who was going to be home with my sister on Friday nights or Saturday nights, and who was going to help get the kids ready in the morning. Just things that a teenager shouldn't be thinking about. And so I want to just really let parents out there know that there's nothing wrong with your children helping, but allow your kids to still be kids, even if they're teenagers. Let them have their teenage experience. They already dealing with all them hormones. School ain't what it used to be like when we was going to school back in the day. It's just a lot to deal with. And even though you think they're a child and they're footloose and fancy free, give them the opportunity to go through their experiences, live their life without having to worry about very adult problems. I will say that I believe that all children are by nature kind of selfish. I mean, they're not dealing with the real world yet. So of course they're thinking about themselves. Of course they want things that they want. I don't even think that that's like necessarily entitled behavior unless it goes too far. But they're children. They have a childlike mindset. They might be big, because sometimes we think just because our children are big in stature that their mental is not there. Right. And so I just want to advocate for parents being parents and children being able to be children, even though they are teenagers. All right. Now, so I said I was going to speak to both sides of this. So now that I'm done with that part, let's talk about the older children in the home. Now, this one on the left, the far left, she is 14. So I'm not so much talking about her, although she helps a lot as well. She is being parentified in my opinion. This one in the middle is just a girlfriend. I don't even really know why she's there. I think she needs to go home. She has a home to go to. She's not an orphan because she says she came there and never left, never went back home. So she has a home. And then the one to the right of her, that is her boyfriend. His name is Keever. He's the oldest. He's 22. And then Raja is going to be on the far right. His name is, I already said his name. His name is Raja. He is 19. So before anybody goes there, I am not saying that you got to kick your children out of the house once they reach the adult legal age, anyway, of 18. Because just because you're 18 does not mean you are grown. Okay? I do totally agree with that. You also can stay with your parents as long as your parents allow you to stay there. That's not a problem either. The issue that I'm having, though, with this is, what are these legal adult age people doing right now that is going to prepare them for one day leaving the home? That's my only thing. I don't want, when your children live with you, I think it's important that they are also participating in some type of enrichment of their lives. That's to me, that's the point of living with your parents, so that you can get to a stable point, so that you can get to a stable position. Or if you come from a more traditional background, you're waiting for marriage. But even then, if you're a man, you got to be working your way to stability to get married. This is for the more traditional people. And if you're a woman, you got to be working on those things that turn you into a wife, whatever those things are. So you still are in a preparation process. There's still some type of enrichment going on. And I just think that for these kids, I would have wanted to see, maybe we'll see it more next season. What are they doing to prepare themselves for full adulthood without Keke? Okay. Secondly, if they're not doing those things, is part of the reason that they're not doing it because they're helping so much with the smaller children in the home? Because if so, that's a problem, because they need to be trying to get their lives steady and on track. That fast track from 22 to 30, when I tell you it goes so fast, I mean, if you blink, you might miss it. You be feeling so young and footloose and free. Next thing you know, you're 32. Okay. And I don't want that for these children. You got to get on the good foot. And you got to get on the good foot early. It makes no sense to me for children to be living in your home and not going to work or not going to school. And I know college isn't for everybody. Not learning a trade, not learning the family business. They just working at, I don't know, name any job, and it's not, they're not trying to move up the ladder. It's not challenging them, nothing. They just doing it to do it, just to have money to buy shoes and go to the movies or, stuff like that. Because life does come at you fast, and it is our job as, I'm saying we, like I'm a parent. I'm going to still talk. I don't care. All right. I'm going to say it like I'm a parent. It is our job as parents to really make sure these children are prepared for life. I have met friends whose parents did not prepare them. I have been roommates with people who were not prepared for life. Y'all, it is scary to meet people that you got to explain everything to because their parents didn't. So I'm a little concerned for these children. I want them to be able to learn the things they need to learn to be prepared for full adulthood. Okay. And I want that to be encouraging. I can't tell, though. I can't tell right now if it's not happening because they don't want to do it, there's no incentive to do it, or because they're helping so much with the little kids that they have not had their own time to do it. It could be either or, but I hope we see a little bit more next season. But if you're going to have adult children living in your home, they need to be working themselves towards some type of stability, because you're not going to be here forever. All right, y'all. Now, this is when you want to leave the room. Some of y'all might be, if you're a huge Keke fan, you might want to leave the room, because now I'm about to get into some of the issues that I had with Keke on this show. Oh, my Lord. The first issue is that Keke is extremely emotionally immature. She is very emotionally immature, and it's not just with her kids. It's really with everybody. But right now, I want to talk about the immaturity with her kids. So I don't know if you've ever read the book. I have it posted here. It's not lining up like I want it to, but the name of the book is Adults of Emotionally Immature Parents. And it basically kind of walks you through having the experiences of dealing with a parent that is emotionally immature, and how it shapes you and the things that it does to you long term and how you can heal from it. And they got a workbook. They got all kind of stuff for it. But if you might want to check it out if you think you may be at risk of being raised by an emotionally, if you were at risk of being raised by an emotionally immature person. But one of the examples I can give is when her son Kemar was trying to tell her how he felt about the family picking on him. So they're a family, they joke a lot, they Jones on each other. I don't know if people still use the word Jonesing, but like when you pick on each other, you say stuff about each other. He's a more sensitive child and he don't go for that. That doesn't do anything for him. It doesn't make him tougher. It hurts his feelings. And when he tries to let Keke know that it hurts his feelings, she get to crying. And I'm not saying that you don't get emotional when your kids tell you that they're hurt. You do. But like Iyanla used to always say, I will always respect Iyanla for this, is when she told them parents, stand up in it. Do not break down in front of your children when they're trying to tell you something that hurt you, because your children automatically go into protective mode and they try to protect you from being hurt, and they don't get to acknowledge their own hurt with you. I've been through this. I've been through this with, honestly, both of my parents, where they began to emote. My mom's not as bad about it now because my mom used to watch a lot of Iyanla, and so she even remembers her saying that. So she tries to do a lot better when we come to her about things. But I've been through it with my dad. I've been through it with, just, I would say both my parents. I'll just put it like that. And I've seen other people go through it. And when I was watching the show, there were multiple times where this one is the one that stood out to me. But there were several times where Keke's children were trying to explain something to her, and she would just get the crying, and she would be like, y'all don't support me, and y'all not gonna help me, and I would just think to myself, like, Keke, baby, like, I don't feel like it's okay for you to do things like this in front of your children. Like, I understand there's a possibility that she may have been going through postpartum, but y'all, if you watch the show, you can tell that these are routine events. Those kids are used to managing Keke's emotions, and you could tell this was not a new thing for them. The way that they would get to hugging on her and all of that is sweet, but it's not their job to continue to have to do that to their parent. They should be able to talk to their parent and reveal to their parent how they feel without their parent constantly breaking down, and then they end up having to console the parent. I think Kemar felt bad after he revealed that to Keke. I don't think he wanted to make her cry or make her feel bad, and you could tell. But he should be able to say that about what he's experiencing and not have Keke go into full breakdown. And that just goes for many of the conversations that were had on the show. Now, this isn't the best still shot. Okay, but this is Keke's manager, Andre. Not just Keke's manager, but her stylist, her planner, her day planner, her recorder, her everything. Okay, he is everything to Keke right now. And this is another person that I feel she is not emotionally mature with. Andre, first of all, Andre is a man. Now, Andre is a gay man, but Andre is still a man. And one thing about men, they are very solution driven. That's one thing I like about men. They don't necessarily get too caught up in the emotional part. And that's where women can really get frustrated. That's where we differ. And you can become very frustrated with your man when you're in the midst of an emotional moment and they just don't get it. They just like, well, I mean, what we gonna do about it though? They see you crying and be like, I'm so sorry, baby, but what we gonna do, right? They're very solutions driven people. And Andre is no different. He wants Keke to get back on the grind, get back on the good foot. Let's get back on the music. I understand you going through this. I'm here for you as a friend, because they're friends as well. And I feel like they've mixed a lot of their business and their personal together, which is always a recipe for disaster. Keke can't get over their personal, which is now affecting what they're able to do with the business. Andre would like to put their personal to the side and strictly work on the business, but it's business and personal for Keke, and can't nobody get her to see it any differently. Now, do I agree with everything that Andre does? No. There were moments in the show where I understood, like, for example, there's a person that Keke didn't really want to work with, and she didn't want Andre bringing his name up. And that's a simple request. Don't bring his name up to me. For whatever reason, Andre did it. And there was another person that was around that Keke didn't want to deal with. So that part, I was kind of like, Andre, you didn't have to do all of that. But as far as actually doing the work, I didn't have a problem. What do we need to do to put our stuff to the side to get to work? I always agree with Andre on that. I knew Andre was a Virgo before I looked it up. It's definitely, y'all, I got the fingers up, Virgo gang. Y'all know how we do. We about our business. And we really ain't too good around a lot of emotions. Even though we ourselves are emotional people, when it comes to getting work done, it's kind of like, I don't know what to do, baby. We got work to do, right? But I could tell Andre was trying. He was trying to work with it. I could tell he's intricately involved with the family, and they've just mixed everything together. But when Andre told her that if you continue a cycle on and on and on, and you always the problem, then it's you. And Keke Wyatt was like, so you saying it's me? Yes, baby, it's you. If you're constantly having these problems with people, and it can't just be everybody else, eventually you do have to look at yourself, Keke. You do. And at the end of the day, you got a lot of mouths to feed. You got to get your business in order. You got to get your business in order. So Andre was like, well, whatever you need to do mentally, I need you to do it, because we got deadlines. We got things that we need to do. So eventually they were kind of able to start getting things done. But yeah, y'all, I don't know. Andre and Keke, if they can't keep their personal out of it, I really don't know what's going to come of the music that she's trying to do. I think she's trying to put an EP out. It's just, Keke gets booked. But as far as her putting out new music, it seems to be an uphill battle. And she does have a songwriter, Kizzy. Kizzy just kind of lays down and take it, bless her heart. She really don't say too much to Keke. I think Andre is the one who will, say something back. But even the way that she handles her business relationships, another issue I have with Keke, it can be very immature. It can be very immature. And in the future, don't mix your personal with your business, Keke. It's just not a good idea. Now, another problem I have with Keke is Keke's mama. And I said it right. My problem is with Keke about Keke's mama. I got smoke from Miss Lorna too. But I want to start it here with Keke, and this is why. I don't think Keke has set the appropriate boundaries with her mother. I also believe that a lot of the behavior that Keke exhibits when it comes to her emotions has stemmed from things that she has watched her mother do. Because when there was an issue with Raja and Raja didn't want Grandma Lorna at his birthday party, and he wasn't really trying to speak to her like that. He was just kind of like, I don't like the way my grandmother handled me. I didn't like the way she handled my friend. I don't like the fact that she would call me little gay boy and things of that nature when I was younger. When he began to air out his grievances to Lorna kind of had the attitude of, okay, yeah, I might have been wrong, but shoot, it is what it is, and I'm grandma, and I should always get the respect. And she kind of made it about her again. And I think that Keke does that same thing. She just does hers in tears. Lorna does hers in Jesus' name, apparently, because she got to speaking in tongues at the birthday party. So let me, I'm moving too fast. So I don't think that Keke has set the appropriate boundaries with her mother. And part of the reason that she hasn't done that is probably because how much she relies on Miss Lorna. Lorna comes over. She helps with the kids. She helped calm Keke down. She does a lot in that house. So maybe that's why she hasn't done the appropriate boundaries that she needs to do. I don't really know, but it's just something I've noticed. I've also, like I said, noticed the learned behavior that she got from Lorna. I also noticed that Lorna is one of those people that believes that she can say whatever she wants to say. She can give her opinion on whatever she wants to give it on, and there will be no consequences, right? And I think back in the day, no disrespect to Gen X, because I don't want to get into generational wars, and I'm not even sure if all of Gen X is like this. If you're not like this, I'm not talking to you. But I will say some of my people, my parents' age, and even before her, they were kind of on the I'ma respect my elders no matter what, Train. I got, my mama might talk to me crazy. She might have did this, and that, but no matter what, that's my mama, and ain't nobody, kind of like a Candy Burris type of attitude. Can't nobody say nothing about my mama. I can't even say nothing about my mama. But these new kids, baby, these Gen Zs, I ain't even talking about millennials, because even we tread lightly. Gen Z ain't having it. Baby, Gen Z will cut their parents off. And I know some millennials who have done it too. I just don't know too many who have stuck to it. Gen Z will cut, when you cutting off your grandma, that's when you know you about that life for real. Most people don't cut off their grandma. And it seems like her and Raja had a close, intimate, personal relationship. And according to the rest of the family members, even the granddaddy, it might be that Lorna is jealous that Raja has a friend that is a girl, not a girlfriend, that he is very close to. And that has taken her position in Raja's life. Now, she says that's all, none of that's logical. That ain't true. None of that is true. But a lot of people are seeing it that way. It wasn't the grandfather that said it. It was the brother, Keke's brother, that noticed it and said it. And she's saying that's not true. But it could be possible that Miss Lorna was used to being the leading lady in Raja's life. I mean, how many times have we seen that happen with mothers and their sons, right? Only this time it's a grandmother and her grandson. So that could possibly be the problem. They also say that whoever the spring girl is acts a lot like Miss Lorna when it comes to Raja. So that part was funny as well. But it seems they had a very close relationship. And Raja just wants to be respected, and he wants the people that are going to be in his life to be respected as well. And if that's not going to happen, you can't be around him. And I got to say, I admire Gen Z for setting the boundaries that they set. Do I feel like sometimes they take it to a level that I don't think I would ever take it to? Sometimes, yes. Sometimes I do. But you know what? I do admire the fact that as young people, they are saying, hey, if you're going to be dysfunctional, if you're going to be toxic, you can't be in my life. And I really do admire that. And I think a lot of some of the older generation kind of banks on their age and being respected. Like, you going to respect me. I'm always your mom. I'm always your grandma. You are always that. And I will always respect you as that. But if you want to be around me and if you want to be in my space, then these are the things that I have to have. And if you can't do it, it's okay for us not to have that level of closeness and that level of relationship. And I think that's what Raja was saying. So yeah, just because Keke, you might lay down and take it, doesn't mean your kids have to. And that's one thing I have to respect about Keke. Keke was like, Mama, look, I'm not getting into it with you and Raja. I want Raja to respect you. I want him to be around you. I've already talked to him. He don't want to do it. And I'm respecting his decision. I love that. I love that she was still like, this is still my son party. I'm still playing his birthday party. You are not invited. Now, Lorna came anyway, which I thought was disrespectful. If I was Keke, I would have escorted my mama out. He don't want you to be here. He don't want you to be here. But luckily, because Dorinda came to the party and who was his favorite artist, and Ricky Dillard came and he was so happy. Raja talked about how he had dealt with cancer. I forgot that he had cancer. And at 14 years old, he was thinking about just dying, like not even fighting, not even doing chemo, not even doing any of that. And he would listen to I'm Still Here, y'all. I'm Still Here still makes me cry to this day. And that's what gave him the courage to go on. And so I want to say thank you, Raja, for sharing your story. Thank you, Dorinda, for writing such an amazing and performing such a beautiful song that still touches so many people. I love Dorinda Clark, y'all. I really do. I love all the Clark sisters, but Dorinda, I really, really like Dorinda. She seems so down to earth and cool. But yeah, I just really appreciated him for sharing that. And I'm glad that he didn't allow Lorna's presence to ruin the whole thing. But Grandma Lorna, as much of a help that she may be, she is also very much a problem. And I'm going to need her to work on that. So overall, you guys, I enjoyed the show. I hope they get another season. I think it would be great for her family. The kids, even though their mom is a celebrity, they don't seem to be they seem to be very normal, down to earth kids. And we don't get to see that a lot of times on television, on a network show. So I would love to see more of them. I hope it don't. Look at me. I hope it doesn't cause too many problems within her family unit, and they still remember that the family is what's important. Each other is what's important. But I would just love this for Keke. She got a lot of children. She got a lot of mouths to feed. This is a journey that we don't get to see much on television. Not with Black people anyway. So I would just love to see, I wouldn't mind seeing something like that on the screen. It was very positive. Nothing was, raunchy or, completely out of pocket. Even Keke's meltdowns were not anything that people couldn't see. And so I just think overall the show was pretty good. I will watch it again. And that's just my synopsis of the show. So you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next one. Bye.